Hey, what's up guys? Houston here, and for those of you just finding my YouTube channel, welcome. Please remember to hit that subscribe button and that bell. Now, today's video, we're going to be talking about the best business loans and grants for small business. Because of this COVID situation, it really put a lot of small businesses on their backs, okay? And so the thing about it, a lot of small business, well, they only know about the PPP or the EIDL, but actually there's more grants and loans out there. And so this video is going to help you understand where you can actually research these other grants and loans. But first, let's dive in. Let's talk about the number one that's going on right now. And that's the PPP, right? Okay, the Paycheck Protection, right? Now, here's the thing about it. I made a video and I told you guys that right now with the PPP, all right, it's going by gross receipts, okay? So what that means is on line 7, that's what they're looking at, line 7. That's all you have to remember, right? However, what's happening that's real exciting about the PPP and what they're actually trying to push is for it to be funded and extended for a longer period of time. So that's the great thing about this. But another awesome thing about it, for small business owners, they're actually trying to go for gross revenue. Okay, so instead of just your gross receipts, they're actually trying to push to look at your actual gross revenue for small business owners. And in terms of the gross revenue, they're probably going to be looking at businesses where they have employees of less than 50 employees for this here, okay? But nonetheless, hey, this is pretty much the situation for a lot of business, because over 80% of the businesses, they have 10 or less anyway. So that's a very good thing if they're going to go off gross receipts. So that means that if you had gotten approved for the PPP, all right, and you got approved for the first time around when it went off of line 21 for the net, I think it's 21 or 31 for your net profits, then they went up to line 7. Now they're actually going off your gross revenue. So if they go off your gross revenue, that means you're going to get more money. And the great thing about it, like I said in the following video, and I put a link below so you can actually see that video, but they're going to be a retro on that as well. So if you got approved for any PPP, then if they change it to gross revenue for a small business, then you'll be able to go reapply going off of your gross revenue. So that's the exciting thing about the PPP. Now, let's talk about the EIDL. Now, here's the thing that's confusing to a lot of people, because you have the EIDL, the loan, okay? And then you have the EIDL targeted advance, okay? And so the targeted advance, basically it's like about a $10,000 grant, okay? And it's for minority or struggling businesses and poor communities and everything like that. So that's the thing about it. So that's where the confusion. Now, here's something else, like I said in the previous video, and I will put the link so you can actually see that video where I told you that if you was denied the EIDL loan, if you was denied this loan, you can actually do a recon. Okay, a recon means a reconsideration. So in the video, I actually tell you who you need to contact in order to ask them to reconsider your SBA loan, your EIDL loan application, because you may have been denied because you had a low credit score, you didn't have enough revenue in the business, you may have been a high-risk SIC code, NAICS code, or you mislabeled your company in the wrong NAICS code. Okay, so if you did that, then you can send a recon letter explaining your situation and see if you can actually get approved for the EIDL loan. Now that's number 2. Now number 3 is your shuttered venues. Okay, so this is like This is like your movie theaters, your museums and things of that nature, for like with artists, performing arts and stuff like that. That's grants for them. This is not a loan. These are actually grants, okay? And here's the kicker about these here COVID grants and loans. A lot of times you will be able to get approved for more than just the PPP and the EIDL. You may also fall in that category where you may have been a venue as well. Now, like I said, you may be an independent contractor like driving for DoorDash, Instacart and stuff like that, where your PPP, your EIDL, but there are other grants and resources in which we're going to talk about those as well, so stick with me. Now, here's something that you have to understand. They have the, it's like a food grant. It's called the, just bear with me one moment, let me think about it. It's your restaurant grants, okay? Now, here's something that you have to understand about your restaurant grants. This is very important. You don't have to be a restaurant. That's the cool part about it. Most people aren't going for this here because they're thinking, well, I have to have been a restaurant. No, you don't have to be a restaurant. You could have been like a food truck or a food cart, right? You could have been selling hot dogs. You could have been selling ices and stuff like that. So that's the thing about it with this restaurant I can't even say the word, but with the restaurant grant, all right? So basically, you don't have to have just been a brick and mortar type of restaurant. You could have been a food truck. You could have been a food cart, all right? So don't think that, oh, it's just for restaurants. No. This is actually specifically for anybody in the food industry. So this is why this is important, okay? Now, here's another thing you have to understand. Like with this here, like they're giving you grants that are equal to your revenue loss during COVID, okay? This is very important because looking at what you lost. So if you was a restaurant, now let's think about it, okay? You get the PPP, you get the EIDL, right? Then you still qualify for the restaurant grants as well. So that's what I'm saying. Like they're steady putting out money. So you not only just get these two, there's other grants that you can be approved for and everything. Now here's another one. Say that you had a SBA loan. Okay, so with the SBA loan, if you had taken out a loan, I think it was 9/27 of 2020. If you had taken out an SBA loan prior to 9/27/2020, now guess what? The SBA, they was making 6 months. They was making 6 months of payments for you, right? 6 months of payments. They was actually paying on your loan for you. That's principal, interest, and whatever other fees. If the loan was up to date, let me help you understand. The loan had to have been up to date in order for them to actually be able to help you in it. But if your loan was up to date, then they was paying up to 6 months of that loan for you. So which is very cool. Now, here's something else. It's called the convenient. What is it? The guys, bear with me one moment. It's called the it's the food assistance. It's the coronavirus food assistance. Yeah. So it's the coronavirus Food Assistance Act. And what it is that say that you was a farmer, okay? Say that you was a farmer, and most people think a farmer, they're thinking of growing bigger crops and stuff. No. Don't think of it like that. So say that you was an individual. say that, okay, this here space, this room here, all right, and you was growing microgreens, right? Let's say you was growing microgreens and you was selling them to local restaurants. Well, guess what? You qualify for this grant. Okay, so not only do you qualify for this grant, but you qualify for the PPP, the EIDL as well. Okay, and you may qualify for the restaurant thing because, again, you're providing to restaurants and stuff. And here's a tip, guys. This is the reason I was telling you, if you want to start a restaurant, because restaurants have a 80 to 90% failure rate. You don't want to do that. You want to categorize yourself as a food distribution type of business, okay? So that means that if you're food distribution, now you're a food truck. Again, it would help with that because you're selling food and stuff, but you're not a restaurant, okay? So that's why, like when you go to the bank and stuff, if you tell them you want a loan for a restaurant and they look at you crazy, it's because of the failure rate is so high. So that's the reason I tell people, don't ever call yourself a restaurant. Don't ever go get a restaurant. You want to say that you're food distribution. If you need more consultation on that, you can click the link below and get access to our free business credit videos, as well as set up a consultation with me so that I can explain this to you and how actually you should pick the right NAICS code or an SIC code in order to move forward with funding your business, okay? So this is very important. Now, let's talk about number 7, okay? Now, with number 7, this here is something that people don't know. Like, it's called Cobra Relief Assistance, all right? So say that you lost your job and you didn't have any insurance and stuff. Well, this here is for you because the government had put it in the bill that they would be making payments to make sure that people still have health insurance. That's the reason they opened up the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, aka Obamacare, to enroll people and stuff like that. So that way you don't have to walk around with no health insurance. Now, those are the top 7, but here's something else that a lot of you all don't know, okay? If you're looking for funding, you have to think locally. Locally, that means that you're going to your local city and government. You would probably start with your small business development center, okay? That's one, your small business development center. Then your community financial development institute, okay? Now, with your Community Financial Development Institute, what it is that they cater to people that are struggling to get loans and stuff that have challenging credit. So if you have bad credit and stuff and you still need to get a loan and stuff like that, they work with people. And besides that bill that passed, that stimulus bill that they passed, they actually gave them a lot of money, like billions of dollars, to actually help people in the community. Now also, let's go back up to this PPP, and like I said in the video, I actually explained this. What they did with the PPP, even if you file bankruptcy, you still can qualify for the PPP. So don't let that discourage you from going after the PPP. If you have a recent bankruptcy or you're in the process of filing bankruptcy, but you have an existing business, you still can get approved for the PPP. So they changed that, okay? Now, again, you make sure that you go to your city and state, okay, because they have been funded as well for small businesses to give them grants and everything like that. So this is very important. So if you don't qualify for any of these, and trust me, if you had an existing business when COVID hit and you was generating revenue and stuff like that, I'm almost certain you could qualify for at least 3 of these here, all right? And then plus again with your local city and state. So even if you was shining shoes If you was shining shoes and that was your way of life, and you got bank statements and taxes to show that, hey, I had a functioning business and this is COVID wiped me out or whatever, then you still qualify. So don't let the business, because I think, like I said, strip clubs got it, brothels got it, you know. And so the thing about it, like I said, they do have a certain high risk type of businesses they won't touch, but for the majority of businesses, if you actually was generating revenue, even if you didn't have an EIN, you was paying your taxes under your social and stuff, but you have bank statements and stuff, this is how you was making your money from your side hustle and stuff like that, again, you can qualify for these type of loans. So this is Houston with three-way funding, and like I said, for people that have livestock, so you may be selling eggs locally and stuff like that. Okay, if that's how you was generating revenue, or you may have been selling not eggs, just chickens, rabbits, or whatever. Again, goats. You know, a lot of people been raising baby goats and selling them off. That's their business. You know, so if that's their business model, again, because of this, they would qualify for these grants as well as these loans. So this is Houston with three-way funding. If you have any questions, again, click the link below. You can schedule a one-on-one consultation. So I really appreciate it if you comment, like, and share. Thank you.